Fight Time Network.
Welcome back to the network. We got our recap of UFC Saudi Arabia coming right at you. Starting off with Fares Ziam defeats Mike Davis in a decision. Somehow escaped a catastrophe of losing a leg, losing a limb. Ankles in every direction known to man. And his leg is still there. Got the decision, Lee.
That was a wild contest, man. Farisi Ham. I knew he had it with that plus money, man. I've got the ticket to prove it. I was sweating when he got his knee. I didn't think a human Frenchman's knee could bend that way, the way it did. And I didn't think another human had that much blood that was coming out of Mike Davis. What a wild contest.
And what the hell was up with Mike Davis in the first round pulling guard twice? And you're like,
Yeah.
dude, you average like 6 throws hits per minute and you're pulling guard? What kind of strategy is this?
My God. And I mean, Farisa Ham's hands can land just as much off your back as they can on the feet. Like,
And then
I
Mike
don't
Davis, I
know.
mean, he was 1 for 8 on takedowns too, dude. Fariz just he like disgraced himself pretty much. Like Mike Davis made himself look so bad. Like his stock went down so bad. Oh my gosh. Ruined my little parlay.
Yeah, it was a fair, and after the performance he had the last time, you got to think what was going on with him, whether he was injured or whether he had a point to prove or whether he just did not believe Farisi Ham was that dangerous or that tough. But man, that was a terrible, terrible gameplay.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened on with that. Moving on, Said Nurmagomedov loses a decision to Vinicius Oliveira. This fight literally planned out exactly how we spoke. Oliveira took his distance, get his takedowns, because I made a big deal. No, this ain't no Nurmagomedov. Had nothing to do with it. No wrestling. He was 1 for 9, but I think Vinicius ended up losing his balance in one of them either way, and he ended up just capitalizing on the takedown.
Yeah,
but Vinicius Oliveira looked great.
It was pretty dicey in the first in that too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I had Vinicius. I spoke up and down to I don't know how many people that Oliveira was going to take this. And it was pretty scary. It was going for that guillotine. He was landing some good shots. I think he even sat Oliveira on his ass in the first round. However, just like we anticipated, second round rolls around, Said gets a little tired, and Vinicius is still right there in his face for the whole time, landing shots, backing him up, and even out wrestling to them. And then you just saw when Said's arms dropped in the third and that round came in, it was all Oliveira all day long after that.
Yeah, he literally looked great in everything. Every mistake Said made after the first round, Oliveira just bam, bam, bam. And I really think the distance between the two, because I think Oliveira actually had outreach, right? Had a longer reach.
Yeah.
And I think
and he's a bigger dude.
Having to close the distance a little bit for himself. He even had to tap into the gas tank a little more than he thought too, and he already had gas problems. He really did. His cardio, like you said, did not hold up, and Vinicius played out exactly how we wanted.
You got this young gun, cocky Brazilian in front of you that ain't going nowhere. Can't get a hold of his neck. You can't touch his face, and you're out of breath. It's a bad place to be in. Work your cardio, kids. It'll come in handy, especially when you got young blood chasing down for that spot. Great for Vinicius. A lot of people expected the possibility. They're ultimately going to a decision in Saudi Arabia was still pretty dicey. So for him to even win over the judges in Saudi Arabia at a decision, like, I mean, I think one gave him 30-27, if I'm not mistaken, and the other two were 29-28, giving the first round to Said, which is a great argument. But to do that in Saudi Arabia, because a lot of people said Vinicius is going to have to finish him, and he got it done by decision.
Moving on to Sergey Pavlovich, wins by decision over Rosenstruik. God, I wonder what the odds were for the fight to go to the distance.
Yeah. Nobody's seen that coming.
They had to be in our favor.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of surprised Rosenstruik made it through it. It
Yeah,
was the takedowns he gave up to Pavlovich that really only that led to it going the distance. If Rizio Rose's Truick, oh, what was it? The first, second, third round he went down. He's 2 for 2. And kind of
that's the
just
last
Pavlovich just
time we're
kind of
gonna see him
panicked.
in the. That's the last time we're gonna see him into the UFC too. Tuesday morning, we find out he gets cut. Unfortunately, top 10 heavyweight in the world getting cut after a
Yep.
loss to one of the best heavyweights to ever do it in Sergey Pavlovich, who there was an argument at one time that he would even beat John Jones. Of course, Tom Aspinall put that argument to bed.
Yep.
However, yeah, that's surprising because ultimately, Rosenstruck got dropped a couple of times. Wasn't the worst fight, but I guess that's how it goes. But
I
yeah, a
just
lot of
think it was
people.
his inability to, get consecutive wins. He kind of hasn't. He's getting worse each fight. You can see it.
Yeah,
His speed has faded intensely. I think he got away with it easy with a decision with Pavlovich, and he didn't get his teeth fucking knocked out. But
yeah,
it is what it is. He's had a hell of a career. But I mean, you lose total strikes 145 to 23.
yeah.
Get taken down twice from Pavlovich. I don't know. I feel like it's the right thing to do. He can go somewhere else. There's a lot of other big promotions, and there's a lot of people coming up through the weight classes. So,
We'll always remember the Bart Simpson loss to Francis Ngannou.
yeah. Moving on to Magomedov loses decision to Michael Venom Page, dude. This fight literally went exactly how we planned it to go out too. Page pick him apart. Kind of got sloppy in the third though.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah. It
really
was.
did.
But everybody, all the commentators have said, and everybody said, if you're gonna beat Cher Bullet, you got to be able to move in and out quickly, and that's the game Michael Venom Page played all day long. He got him, and I mean the way Page darts in and out,
It's
and you don't
amazing.
have a right eye that works fully. It's just a dangerous game. I mean, there was argument for Cher Bullet to win, but it was, sort of the writing was on the wall that Page was going to find a way to ultimately get the decision victory here.
Yeah, I mean, they both kind of play the same exact game, and when someone's that much faster than you, dude, there was a couple times, dude, he was just dart in with like a quick one, and you're like, ooh, he's lucky that missed. And then he'd already be back to where he was. Michael Venom Page, yeah, his speed is impeccable. I'm still amazed every time I watch that guy live.
4 minutes went by in the second round, and Cher Bullet didn't had touch him with a single strike. For that
Did
second
not
round, I
catch
think it was
that.
like 4 minutes that passed, and it was zero
Wow.
strikes to the head from Cher Bullet.
So, I mean, he pretty much doubled him up in the first, doubled him up in the second. Looked very sloppy in the third. What did they do? It was 30 27, 29 28, 29 28. Nope, 30 27, 30 27. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
And
he's getting
129
pretty
28 for
cocky. I
Mike
think in,
Bell.
in the in the third round there, he knew he had his number, and ultimately it was just being MVP.
Yeah. And when Page would hit him, man, Magomedov would back up so terribly. He didn't want to be there
Massive
after he caught a
reaction.
couple from Page, man. You could see it in him. But hey,
Yeah,
it won't be the last O to go this year, and there's been plenty of them.
yeah, darting in and out, catches that right hand, and yeah, it'll be either of those guys, whoever they're gonna fight next, going to be exciting. They're going to get my money, that's for sure.
Matters who it is. I don't know who they're going to put up against Page. We'll see.
He was talking about Yuri at the presser. He was talking about going up to light heavyweight to fight Yuri.
He was already up a weight class.
It's just he's going up from welterweight to freaking middleweight to
And
light
actually, I was kind
heavyweight.
of surprised how fast he still was. I mean, yeah, he didn't really cut as much weight, but like to have that much more weight on you to keep your
Yeah,
speed,
at
I was really
37
impressed.
years old.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying in the preview, he beat Ian Gary in the striking. Ian Gary had to grapple Michael Venom
Yep.
Page in order to beat him to a decision. So I don't think there's a striker in the UFC that's going to give a good run. Maybe in the next 3 years he will be pushing 40, but I think we're going to see a
Right.
couple more really exciting matchups that are likely going to be victories for Michael Venom Page.
I say maybe one more, and matters how it all works out if he gets a title shot or not.
Yeah. Just
With
give him
everybody
Yuri.
else.
We don't need Yuri Piera 3. Just get Yuri MVP. Let's go.
Oh, that's a lot of weight, man. I don't know. Neri just throws bombs.
Yeah.
Oh, and his head movement was so good last fight. So I don't know. Oh, I can't wait for that fight now. So I'm going to be very pumped for that.
Take my money.
Moving right, moving on to the main event. Imavov knocks out Israel Adesanya round 2. He just had his number, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Had his
know,
number. He threw half the strikes of Adesanya, but damn, when he threw, they hit.
yeah. And just when you're strapping into a typical Israel Adesanya fight, you're in that second round, like, okay, he's going to step it up. Maybe there might be a few cool movements here, but, he's going to start to work in his feints. He's going to get his game in, and then bam.
Yeah, you could like the first 3 minutes of round 1, dude. You can see him just reading Adesanya, taking it
Yeah.
in, absorbing every single movement. I mean, you got to think Imavov's probably been planning to beat Adesanya for 5, 10 years.
Yeah.
All these fighters now that he has to go down through the ladder, man. Truthfully, I probably only see 1 or 2 fights from Adesanya left,
Yeah. And I
and
mean, it's so
everybody's gonna
many
have his number.
years of just having to face who's next and everybody that he's going to face in the coming years or months. It's going to be the guy that's, like you said, been looking at him, that's been watching every single tape. Like Adesanya's been the guy for so long, and he
Hmm.
only gets to focus on the next guy that's put in front of him. While the guys that are coming up at the bottom are like, here's the guy that we've been waiting for. And it was unfortunate to see. The era is changing.
I'm trying to see. Whitaker end up get. Oh, he lost to Kamzat. Yeah, he fucked his mouth up. Whitaker. That'd be that's is that middleweight. Yeah. So Imavov versus Whitaker one day.
Maybe they put Izzy with Share a Bullet next.
Oh
Izzy MVP,
my
maybe.
God. Ooh, that'd be badass, man. Well, did he might end up having to run into Kamzat, Imavov.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him,
Yeah.
because what Kamzat just fought Whitaker back in October. He's due in a few months. Usually fights once or twice a year.
Yeah. Well, I guess if they like Izzy, they're gonna put him with Shara or MVP. If they don't like Izzy, they're gonna put him with Bo.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just talking about Imavov, though. We'll see who he gets next.
Yeah.
He might end up a calm shot or he gets a title shot. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he's probably gonna get whoever loses against what's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I guess it all matters how. Yeah. I mean, didn't I hear you announce that Kamzat was getting the next title shot?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hamzat's gonna get the winner
So I
of
just saw some
DDP
BS.
Strickland. So probably put Imavov into whoever loses that fight, depending on how it goes or how bad it goes for either guy. Ultimately, I could see Imavov getting the like if DDP loses this
Hmm.
Saturday, then it's definitely Imavov DDP. But even if Strickland were to lose, I could still see Imavov. Well, I mean, they've already done Imavov and Strickland, and we see how that goes. So
Yeah, we'll just see how those
yeah.
play out. Because I mean, Imavov's going to come out pretty healthy. I see him
Mm.
needing to turn around. If he's not going to get a title shot, hopefully they set up him against Kamzat or vice
Yeah.
versa. And you see Adesanya should fight Magomedov maybe later in the year around September,
Yeah.
October. That'd be sweet. All right, sweet. You got anything else you got from the card?
It was a wild card, man. Actually, something I do have to add is a historic moment for not only MMA but sports. But JJ, Jasmine, and Myra Silva. That was actually like the first women's MMA fight to ever happen in Saudi Arabia,
True that.
and we got it done in Canada.
That's
We
awesome.
brought
Yeah, I
that home to
forgot.
Niagara Falls.
Just did a vicious. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good fight. She looked good.
Yeah, absolutely. Niagara top teams really got her well. Boom. Excited to see what she does. But yeah, that was something that stood out for me on that card.
Hell yeah. So we set up some history this last weekend. First woman's fight ever in Saudi Arabia went down. That's y'all's recap. UFC Fight Night, Saudi Arabia. See y'all next time. Fight Time Network.